Hey there! You ever heard of parallel dimensions? Bet you have. And what if I told you they really exist? I've got a story to tell you, and you're probably not going to believe it, but here it is anyway. You know, I was just an ordinary guy, working as a mascot, meeting with my bright friends, well, the usual stuff. Like everyone else, I enjoyed sci-fi movies and books, but I didn't really believe the things they showed were for real. At least until I stumbled upon this object. It was lying in a ditch near the street where I usually walk home from work. I don't even know what made me pick it up. It looked like some kind of an MP3 player with just 3 buttons. I turned it this way and that, and then pressed the middle button. What happened next was inexplicable. I felt as if I were jerked by some invisible hand over my head and legs. And then, before I could realize what was happening, I found myself in a totally different place. Well, in fact, the place was the same, but it felt absolutely different. Something was off, but what? And then I noticed. You see, there's a movie theater further down the street, and a huge poster on its front made me start. It said, "For the 20th anniversary of the cult classic, James Cameron's Gigantic is back on the big screen." Well, first of all, I knew for a fact that Cameron's classic movie was Titanic, not some Gigantic. And secondly, it was first shown in 1997, which was already 22 years ago. So why the anniversary? I stopped a passerby and asked him if there was some mistake. He only looked at me as if I were a lunatic and said there hadn't been any Titanic, neither a movie nor a crash. She sailed on to New York without any trouble and served for another 20 years after that. The Gigantic, on the other hand, sank on her maiden trip in 1913, having crashed into an iceberg. That was when I realized it wasn't some prank. I somehow ended up in a parallel world. I'd heard about this before. There's a theory of multiverse, which states that there's an infinite number of universes that exist parallel to each other and never meet. Hypothetically, anything that could happen, well, could happen in a parallel universe. In the one I found myself in, for example, everything was the same but the tragedy of the Titanic. To say I was amazed would be a huge understatement. So I did what I thought was only natural. I pressed the button again. The same feeling of being jerked up overwhelmed me, and the next moment I got to another world. This time it was very different. I was in the middle of a busy highway instead of a modest back street, and most importantly, many of the cars were flying above the road. There were several skyscrapers nearby, and from the top of one of them, a jet-powered shuttle was starting into the sky. I rushed for a newspaper stand. After a brief search, I understood that John F. Kennedy had survived in 1963, and history changed its course for the better. So that's what it would look like if there was no Lee Harvey Oswald. By then, I was already too excited to see what else there was in parallel universes. I pressed the button and welcomed the familiar tug. Hey, what's this? Where am I? Oh, I get it. It's the Simpsons universe. You know, I always wanted to do that one thing. I wonder where I can find Homer. Ah, there he is. Hi there. Big fan, nice to meet you. Never mind. Just let me pat you on the tummy, big guy. Oh yeah, thanks. Bye. Whew, that was mind-blowing. Now, where in the multi-world was I this time? Something was wrong. The road was there, but it wasn't paved, and the houses looked too medieval, I guess. They were made of stone, and the walls were so thick it seemed as if they had been built for protection rather than comfort. I walked to the nearest house and stopped in my tracks when all of a sudden a rider came from around the corner. He wasn't on a horse though. He was sitting astride a dinosaur, saddle reins and all that. I made a few more steps and saw that a bit further away there was a triceratops. I was sure then. It was a universe where there had been no cataclysm that made dinosaurs extinct. It wasn't that bad by the looks of it, you know. After all, humans still won the race for survival. The technological progress was obviously far slower though, so I guess I wouldn't have liked it there anyways. Next destination was, hey, something happened to me. Why am I so 3D? Ow, my arm. It just fell off. Can somebody please help me reattach my arm? Anyone? What's this book? 1,000 Ways to Use a Glue Gun? A glue gun, right. That's exactly what I need. Where do I take one? Oh, here it is. Thank you, whoever you are. Now, they're blowing some hot glue onto my arm and carefully attaching it back to my body. Whew! As good as new. Thanks again, gentle giant. I think I'd rather go to the next world until I lose some other part of my body. Huh? It's water all around now. Nothing but the endless ocean in every direction. I wonder what could have happened here to cause this. Wait, it looks like our past video about… It's a megalodon! Quick, out of here! Those universes were becoming crazier the further I went. The following one was the South Park universe. Well, who said it was impossible that a cartoon world could exist as a separate entity? Anyway, I found myself watching how Cartman and Kenny were hiding behind a tree and apparently waiting for something, while a huge bear was approaching them from behind. I had no desire to see what would happen to Kenny in the next few seconds. Not Cartman though, he'd survive as always. And found myself on the busiest street ever. There wasn't even room enough to breathe freely, let alone move around. So many people and cars. Come on, where was I? And strangely, everyone I saw around me was quite young. None older than 25 or so. I struggled to find my way out of the crowd, but failed. In the end, I just tugged someone on the sleeve and asked them why there was such a mass of people here. The person replied it was because of the cure for aging. Humans had finally found a way to stop growing older, becoming virtually immortal. And that led to an enormous demographic boom. Since people now lived almost forever, the planet quickly became overpopulated. Well, I guess it's the price of eternal life. Moving on then. Hey, what the… Am I being crafted again? No, this is different. Everything's made of blocks. Looks like some kind of a computer game. Oh, and there's someone I can talk to. Hey, blue guy, do you know what this world is about by any chance? No? You're not a talkative type, are you? By the way, is that your friend behind you? That green, blocky thing? I don't like that hissing sound it makes. Yikes! Ow, that hurt. I was lucky to have pressed the button before it blasted me away. Okay, let's see where I am now. Ha! Another cartoon world. This time, it's the Family Guy and Peter Griffin in the flesh. I've already patted Homer Simpson on the tummy. Can I do the same thing with you, perhaps, for collection? Thanks. Awesome. This setting reminds me of something. It's as if I saw all this traveling through the universe's stuff here. Well, maybe it's just déjà vu. Clicking on. And finally, I'm here. Yep, here in your world. Why? Did you think I was a light bulb for no good reason? Of course I'm from a parallel universe. I just liked it so much that I decided to stay for a while. I hope it's okay with you guys. Anyway, I've got a question for you. How else do you think could the history of our world have changed if some events had or hadn't happened? Share your theories down in the comments. Hey, if I managed to give you some interesting info today, then give this video a like and share it with a friend. But don't you go time and space traveling just yet. We have over 2,000 cool videos for you to check out. Just click on this left or right video and enjoy. Remember, stay on the bright side of life.